Good afternoon, Dylan. It is Monday, and I agree. Research is very difficult, regardless of whether you're in college or not. It is a time-consuming task that takes a lot of resources that you and I generally don't have access to. I never did much research in college anyway, and, well, even though I took a history major and philosophy major, I needed a lot of things to research and talk about. So I always did the cheap cop-out and tried to pick some sort of social thing that didn't have a whole lot of analysis and study so that I could sit there and kind of make stuff up along the way and use things that were discussed in class as a reference source because the teachers always enjoyed that, made it look like I was paying attention in class. Now that I'm an adult, well, by adult I mean not college graduate anymore. I don't consider myself adult in any real substantial or meaningful way. Now that I'm no longer in college, my desire and capability to research has been dramatically reduced. As you said, it's pretty difficult to just punch in what you're looking for on Google search. I punched in poser in a parka in Google search, and within the top 5 searches, 2 of them were a Dr. Horrible sing-along blog reference or site or the actual video, depending on, what category you set it as, whether it was a web search or a video search or something else, which was kind of interesting that is one of the top 5 references Google came up with. It may dictate how Google tries to predict what I'm looking for, which is kind of scary. Even though research is a very important thing to do, and it's incredibly difficult, you've got to have the right capabilities and connections and resource library. Those aren't things that average, everyday, ordinary people have. Those are things that very few people have, and I think that's why research is usually so limited and so financially restricted. Even though you and me have the luxury of having the power of the internet at our disposal and all of the knowledge of the human species up to this point, we still don't have access to it without breaching some sort of financial barrier or signing up to gain access to this website. And then you're just kind of like, okay, now what do I do? If I use it one time, is it really worth it? I have to use it a couple dozen times. If I have to pay for it on a monthly or yearly subscription, I better get my money's worth every time, or it's going to feel like it's a wasted adventure. Sites probably have one-time use fees. I'm not sure. I don't generally go looking through them, especially not the scholarly ones. Anytime something says, hey, pay money for access, I usually leave that page immediately, because I'm a cheap jerk. Which I suppose is another way of me censoring myself by saying I refuse to pay money to other people who've put hard work into things. I will instead opt for the free version. And I'm sure that it's probably not so much censoring, unless it's censoring the data I'm receiving, and much more just general display of me being a jerk. Anyway, Dylan, that's pretty much all I've got for today. I will see you on Wednesday. Have a good one.